All right, so I teased you earlier, but now we're going into club head speed. We're as efficient as it gets. We've maxed out our distance, so we need more club head speed, and here's how we're gonna get it. We're gonna start off with the arms and hands. They're a great power source, and generally, if your body has some limitations, you're gonna be able to get more speed from the hands and arms than you can from anything else. So let's talk about how we're gonna drill this in. I'm gonna put my driver down for a moment, and what I want you to really feel is pick up an alignment stick and try to get the sensation of using a trail arm and then your lead arm, kind of understanding where you're getting speed from each one. This is something they use in the stack system. This is a system devised by Dr. Sasha McKenzie. Chris Como's on board with them, a good friend of mine from GolfPass. And so this is allowing us to learn how to create more club head speed with each arm so that collectively you can create maximum speed through impact. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my setup. And what I wanna do here is I'm gonna just take my lead hand off for a little bit. And I'm gonna focus on trail arm speed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back, turn, make sure you make a full turn. I see a lot of people when they practice this go back with just their arm. Make a full turn, almost feel like you're making a little box between your shoulder and your elbow and another box here. From here, what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to start down by feeling like the bottom of the stick is gonna point right at that golf ball. So that's gonna get my trail elbow leading. And then once I get to here with a little rotation, I'm gonna really try to accelerate and swoosh that stick as fast as I can, making maximum sound, maximum club head speed, what feels like right through here. So let's do that again. Back, point at the ball, swoosh. One more time. Back, point at the ball, swoosh. And then you can do it all in one motion. And I can really hear that noise. If I start hearing it here, I didn't use my arm correctly. So that's just the trail arm. That's how you create maximum speed with that. The louder the noise, the more speed you got. Now I'm gonna switch to lead hand, trail hand behind the back. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn all the way back. Same sort of feel. The bottom of this as I start down is gonna go out towards that ball. Once I get here, I'm gonna really focus on rotating my lead arm and then kind of going up almost like I'm uppercutting somebody. So we're gonna go back, pointing right at that ball, uppercut. And you can really hear that swoosh as well. And the rotation plus the lift is creating a lot of speed with the arms and hands. Then you can go ahead and put it together. And you can really hear that noise. So after you feel that a few times, go ahead and put the stick back down. And what I want you to focus on is hitting drivers with your feet together, just focusing on how the arms and hands are gonna feel. So your feet can be slightly spread apart, probably about a driver width. From here, I just want you to turn back, try to feel that same thing. So that's gonna point towards that ball, and then you're gonna release with both arms helping each other. They're gonna work together. We're creating maximum speed with the hands and arms. After you do that, I want you to set up to the ball and just hit a couple, trying to feel like you're maxing that out. Now, they might not go quite as far as they would if you had a normal stance because we're not utilizing the body yet. We're not utilizing the ground as much, but I want you to try to get, dialed in and try to isolate those arms and hands for speed. So about a driver head width, take my setup, maximum speed, arms and hands. That felt great. A lot of club head speed. I could really feel my arms and hands being active there. So that's an excellent exercise if you're trying to just get an isolation of how the lead arm, how the trail arm, and how they work together to create club head speed. Now, I will say, using the ground, using your body, absolutely one of the best ways to create more club head speed. There's been a lot of studies lately, a lot of biomechanical studies, and so what I'm gonna give you is a little progression here for how to progress into the proper weight shift and pressure shift back, the timing of it, and how to utilize the ground through impact the way we need to. So what I want you to do is go ahead and take your setup. And I will preface this, and we'll talk about fitness in a second, but it's important to make sure your body's ready to do this. If your body can't move in the way you want, I would focus a little more on the arms and hands. If it can move the way you want, then this is an excellent drill, or we can try to do some new exercises and feelings to try to improve our body and our range of motion. So the first one, we're gonna try to load back properly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your stance, get in a good driver setup. You're gonna take your trail foot, place it next to your lead foot. You're gonna get some momentum here, so you're gonna actually start the club forward. As your club goes forward, I want you to load back, turn and hold. Forward, back, turn and hold. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna feel that, we're gonna go ahead and hit. So I'm gonna set up, normal, really focusing on that load back, really kind of getting some momentum going. I'm gonna take my setup, trail foot closer. I'm gonna feel a little momentum going back, turn, and then hit. So I really felt a great load going back, definitely felt more coil, more production for speed. And now we're gonna reverse that and try to go the opposite direction. So I'm gonna tee another ball up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to feel the pressure shifting back. So we're loaded back, now we're gonna go forward. So kind of the opposite feel, you're gonna take your setup. You're gonna take this lead foot and actually put it a little bit closer to the trail foot. Forward, back, and then as you're starting to get to the top, I want you to step forward. One more time. Forward, back, step, swing. And then let's put it together. So the feel here is gonna be a good load back, and then as your club's getting to the top, it's a good load forward. Good load back, good to the top, good load forward. Let's do it. So we're really gonna use the ground, and even if your front foot kind of moves a little bit, moves back a little bit, that actually can be a sign that you're using the ground very well, especially if it's later in the golf swing. So I'm gonna take my setup, ball off the inside of my lead foot, definitely a lot wider than the arms and hand drill, and then I'm gonna go ahead and load back and then load forward. A lot more speed. My foot, I can see, actually moved off the ground a little bit there. Definitely created more club head speed, and that's gonna help. If we're efficient, that's kind of gonna be the only parameter that's really gonna push you that extra notch for more distance. Finally, if you wanna have more speed in general, what I would say is work out in a way that helps the body move in the best way. So usually we're talking about mobility, stability, and strength in a few different places: legs, core, and shoulders. So what I really like are taking like medicine balls, holding them out in front of you, doing lunges, so working those legs, similar, kind of more of a lateral feel, just like in a swing, holding this out and then rotating as much as we can. It's stretching you out, it's making you more mobile, it's improving stability and strength. So anything that you can do to improve the core, the legs, and the mobility in the shoulders and arms make a huge difference for your ability to create club head speed. And finally, the last thing is creating more fast twitch muscle fibers, trying to make sure that we practice swinging fast. So it's no different than sprinting or jumping. The more you push your max, the more likely that your stock speed is gonna go up. So let's just say hypothetically, you're swinging at like 112 and your max is 115, so 3 miles an hour faster. If you get your max to 120, your stock might be 117, something like that, which would be obviously great. So what I want you to do is I want you, at kind of the middle end of a session, not when you're too tired, but also not when you have a lot left, try to hit 10 to 20 drives all out. Don't really care where it goes. Try to keep pushing your speed, only caring about where it goes. That's one reason why a lot of times people actually hit it farther into a net, because they don't care where it goes. So we're gonna take our setup. I'm just gonna absolutely try to destroy this ball using my body correctly, using momentum, and keep pushing that max as high as I can. So that felt phenomenal. So we're efficient. It's right down the middle. We're in the middle of the fairway. We got the club head speed. You're gonna be having wedges in your hand, making birdies, shooting for the pin in no time.